Shame on you, Mr. Jordan. Shame on you, Mr. Jordan. Shame on you, Mr. Jordan.
Picture the old Roman Colosseum, except for everyone is seated on one half. Michael Cohen sitting right in the middle. That's the way the hearing was set up. And basically it was set up so everyone could go around, take their turns and throw their tomatoes at him, and he'd sit there and cry and pout and whatever. But one person named Jim Jordan, when he went to talk to Cohen, Cohen had had enough and he turned the tables. He silences Jim Jordan and actually puts him in his place, and you can see his body language, everything is very tight and tense. And I'm gonna break down exactly how he did this. Number one, it's entertaining, but number two, what if you, in your life, want to be able to silence someone or put them in their place, or when people are coming at you, you want to be able to stand your ground? I'm going to teach you how you can use this in your own life as well by having an understanding at the core of what really happened. So let's roll this footage.
Yeah, I would just make one point. We just had a 5-minute debate where Mr. Cohen disputes what the Southern District of New York found, what the judge found, that he was actually guilty of committing bank.
Now listen to his tone before we kick off here. How kind of confident is he? Almost a little smirk on his face. Now listen to this.
Just make one point. We just had a 5-minute debate where Mr. Cohen disputes what the Southern District,
like, it's basically just like busted, right? Hey, we just saw this right now. He's busted. We're calling him out.
Of New York found what the judge found, that he was actually guilty of committing bank fraud. If this statement back here doesn't say it all, Cohen's consciousness of wrongdoing is fleeting. His remorse is minimal. His instinct is to blame others. Is strong. There's only one wrong with that statement. His remorse.
He wants to speak so bad. He's trying to keep himself back.
Is non-existent. He just debated a member of Congress saying, I really didn't do anything wrong with the false bank things that I'm guilty of and going to prison for.
Mr. Jordan, that's not what I said, and you know that that's not what I said. I said I pled guilty, and I take responsibility for my actions.
Okay, so first he just corrects him. He said that's not what he said.
Shame on you, Mr. Jordan.
Now he's stewing. Watch what happens. He's silent and he's stewing, and the guy, Jordan, doesn't say anything back. So then he just feels like he has to say it. Feels like it's time to strike. Shame on you. Those are bold words at your own hearing.
And I take responsibility for my actions.
Stewing.
Shame on you, Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Chairman.
Not what I said.
Mr. Chairman.
That's not what I said. What I said.
Now, how many times does he try to talk over him, this guy?
You, Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Chairman.
Not what I said.
Mr. Chairman.
Not what I said. What I said is I took responsibility, and I take responsibility. What I was doing.
Okay, look at him go into that defensive posture. Anytime you cover your face or put your hand over your face, it's a defensive posture indicating you're stressed. Now, the biggest sign of stress would be your hand on the back of your neck, but he's covering his face up right now. Why? What are you noticing in Cohen in his presentation here?
He's explaining to the gentleman that his facts are inaccurate. I take responsibility for my mistakes.
His tone totally changed. It's his tone of voice. That's the only thing that's changed, but it communicates to Jim Jordan that he means business, that he's not going to be easily talked over. So many people ask me, what do I do when people talk over me? I actually have a video you can click right here that goes through 3 things. But if you sound like someone who can easily be talked over, well, people are going to talk over you, right? You're communicating with the way that you speak, everything that other people need to know as how convinced you are that you should be speaking.
All right, I am remorseful, and I am going to prison. I will be away from my wife.
So this was Jim Jordan's time to put him in his place, but look at him now just sitting there quiet and defensive. Why do you think that is?
Family for years. So before you turn around and you cast more dispersion, please understand, there are people watching you today that know me a whole lot.
Nervous twitch, checking the mic, being sure everything's there, hands still on face.
I made mistakes. I own them, and I didn't fight with these.
This is as confident as Cohen has ever sounded. His tone of voice is the most confident. And this is not a video about how to speak with a strong tone of voice, but if you would like to learn how you can get a stronger voice with more resonance, so when you speak, people stop, they respect you, they want to hear what you have to say, so you can stop someone like Jordan right now by your tone of voice. I've got a free checklist. You can touch or click up here in the corner, or go to charismamatrix.com/tonality checklist. And because you're coming from this video and get it for free, it's going to go through 5 things that'll teach you how to have a nice, deep, booming voice that people listen to.
Southern District of New York. I didn't put the system through an entire scenario, but what I did do
Jordan's moving around.
Guilty All right, and
fidgeting.
I am going to be, again, going to prison.
So think about how you can use that. Even in this hearing that's set up for people to basically take unadulterated swings at Cohen, he was able to turn the tide from speaking with force. Think about situations in your life where people maybe are rolling over you. Maybe people are talking over you. Maybe people aren't giving you the respect. When could you step up and assert yourself? I'd encourage you, at least try it. Try it. A lot of people are very nervous when they do. And they feel like, oh, they're going to get mad or they're going to yell at me. No, they're not. They're going to respect you, surprisingly enough. But try it in just a small, unimportant situation. Try it when you have a conversation. It's not that important when someone tries to talk over you, talk down to you. Assert yourself a little bit more with that tone of voice. Don't speak in the supplicative tone. Don't speak in the high tone. Speak like a normal person, a confident person, and watch how they react. Hey, if you have Instagram, follow me there. I've got a lot of behind the scenes stuff. But if you want to hear a story of my own life, I actually went out here in Dallas, Texas on a date not too long ago and had to leverage the power of my voice to put three guys, and there were three guys, and they were drinking pretty heavy, and they were trying to make me look bad in front of my date at a bar here in Dallas. If you want to hear a story about how I leveraged my voice to handle that situation somewhat similar to this video, you can click here to do so. If you want to grab that checklist I was talking about, the vocal power checklist, you can click here. Or if you haven't seen this video, this is a good one too. Click on any of those, and I'll talk to you there.